Hello and welcome to UrbanNeighbor.com, a platform where we are driving for entrepreneurs and leaders for tomorrow. In this video, we will showcase 10 African American museum destinations that we should support. Our mission is to communicate a variety of businesses to the urban communities to present awareness. Number 1, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. The National Museum of African American History and Culture is a Smithsonian Institute museum located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. It was established in December of 2003 and opened its permanent home in September of 2016 with a ceremony led by President Barack Obama. From its many exhibitions to its mass collection of photos, the museum offers a wide variety of virtual education for all ages. The NMAAHC is the world's largest museum dedicated to African American history and culture. It ranked as the 4th most visited Smithsonian museum in its first full year of operation. The museum has more than 40,000 objects in its collection, although only about 3,500 items are on display. The 350,000 square foot, 10-story building, 5 above, 5 below ground, and its exhibitions have won critical praise. The museum offers a 400-seat Sweet Home Cafe that showcases the rich culture and history of the African American people with traditional, authentic offerings, as well as our present-day food traditions. Since the museum opened in fall of 2016, visitors has been able to explore more than 400 years of artifacts and historical information detailing the African American experience. Number 2, Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. The Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History is located in Detroit, Michigan. Founded in 1965, the museum holds the world's largest permanent exhibit on African American culture. Among the more than 35,000 artifacts, you will find interactive kid stations, displays of trailblazers in science and engineering, and stained glass windows by Samuel A. Hodge that display stories of notable African Americans from dancers to civil rights activists. The annual 3-day African World Festival held in August celebrates the culture of diaspora with host-free performances by gospel legends such as the Clark Sisters, African drummers, and dance troupes. Number 3, Tuskegee Airmen National Historical Museum. The Tuskegee Airmen National Historical Museum is located in Tuskegee, Alabama. The Tuskegee Airmen of World War II, the first squadron of black military airmen, weren't considered equals in the eyes of the law, but that didn't stop them from defending the country. The museum details their training and the role they played in desegregating the military. Number 4, National Memorial for Peace and Justice. The National Memorial for Peace and Justice is located in Montgomery, Alabama, and is a national memorial to commemorate the black victims of lynching in the United States. While white individuals were also lynched, the memorial is intended to focus on and acknowledge past racial terrorisms and advocate for social justice in America. Informally called the Lynching Memorial, the first U.S. commemoration of the thousands of men, women, and children were murdered, primarily because of the color of their skin. This Alabama site holds 805 hanging, steel rectangles in the shape of coffins, each representing one of the U.S. counties where a documented lynching took place. As reported by legal advocacy nonprofit Equal Justice Initiative. Steps away, visitors may explore the Legacy Museum from enslavement to mass incarceration, which opened on the same day and displays the history of racism in America, beginning with slavery before examining lynching, the civil rights era, and the present. Number 5, Whitney Plantation. The Whitney Plantation is located in Wallace, Louisiana, where visitors can walk the fields once toiled in by slaves and learn the history of the brutal time in American history. Museum guides provide tours through memorials, slave cabins, and the Great House with a unique focus on the slave's perspective. Number 6, National Civil Rights Museum. The National Civil Rights Museum is located in Memphis, Tennessee. The museum is built around the former Lorraine Motel, which was the site of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. There is no shortage of museums dedicated to civil rights in America, set in spots where pivotal points in the movement's history occurred. Visitors can hear audio of oral history recounting first-hand accounts of law under Jim Crow or women of Montgomery boycotting bus segregation. The museum exhibits a number of vehicles of historic value or of which the otherwise relevant to the time period. Vehicles on display include an International Harvester garbage truck and an exhibit on the 1968 Memphis sanitation strike that brought King to Memphis, James Earl Ray's Ford Mustang, a 1968 Cadillac, and a 1959 Dodge parked outside the motel. A recreation of the burned shell of a Greyhound bus used by the Freedom Riders, and a bus representative of Montgomery bus boycott. Number 7. National A. Phillip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum. The National A. Phillip Randolph Pullman Porter Museum is located in Chicago, Illinois. The museum is dedicated to the African American men who worked as porters on the trains of the Pullman Car Company and are revered for their service and dedication. The men endured incredible long hours for about $60 a month, and more than half of that went back to the company for supplies they used on the job. Stories of their experience on these segregated trains and off are detailed in this intriguing museum, which also explains the political climate of the time and rise of unions like the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porter. Number 8. The Buffalo Soldiers Museum. The Buffalo Soldier Museum is located in Houston, Texas. The Buffalo Soldiers were a group of former slaves, freemen, and black Civil War soldiers who continued to serve America during peacetime. So named by the Native Americans, the soldiers often are lauded for helping to forge the Wild West. The museum showcases the efforts of the African Americans in the protection of the country at home and abroad, where often their safety was equally at risk due to the color of their skin. The museum, inspired by the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers, chronicles the entire African American experience from the Revolutionary War to the Persian Gulf War. Visitors will also see multiple displays which include uniforms, firearms, flags, photographs, documents, and other military memorabilia. Number 9. National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. The National Underground Railroad Freedom Center is located in Cincinnati, Ohio. The intricate secret network of allies that runaway slaves relied on to escape to freedom was called the Underground Railroad. Although slavery ended in the United States roughly 150 years ago, the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center works to keep the story and the message alive for the current generation. With the exhibitions that highlight slave trade of the past and the present, the center presents interactive exhibits, films, and even includes a slave pen from Kentucky built in the early 1800s. The moving tribute is even more relevant given the approximately 27 million people estimated to be enslaved around the world today. Number 10. African American Museum of Fair Park. The African American Museum of Fair Park is located in Dallas, Texas. At the museum, you can explore an extensive and comprehensive permanent collection that ranges from inspiring folk art to century-old masterpieces. Other works of African art include Black Renaissance paintings, decorative arts, contemporary art, and period rooms. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. Please like, share, and subscribe so that you will receive our latest videos when they are out. Thank you.